Hi there, my name's Alistair Kennedy and I'm the Sociable Social Worker, and I give practical advice to social workers. And in this video we're going to look at social work pay, and it's just going to be really an update what roles pay well and really this post-pandemic madness we've got in terms of social work pay. So stay tuned because I'm even going to talk about adult care this time as well in this video. So as I said, I did a video about 10 months ago and it got about 7.5k views. It might have more than that. And the social work job market since then is going completely wild. So here's a quick lowdown on the runners and the kind of riders, and it'll give you an idea of the jobs across the UK. I'll add in some areas for those of who are looking to move from abroad, and you can work out the geography via Google Maps. Also, adult social work, I'm only going to briefly talk about that, but let's get on with it. So social work posts. I got asked to do a social work post recently in one of the islands of the UK, and it was £70 an hour for a basic grade social worker plus £150 per week accommodation. Yesterday I saw a job for £55 an hour for an IFA for a supervising social worker job in the Midlands. Basic grade, but these opportunities are there. According to the latest Childcare Commission report, it talks about using less agency staff, but there's now nearly 6,000 agency staff being used across the whole of social work in the UK. That's up about 3.5%, and it makes up nearly 16% of the whole workforce. So it doesn't look like agency social work is going to diminish anytime soon. Adult care interim roles, well, some vary, but most are around about £31 an hour to £40 an hour, depending on the role and depending on how qualified you are. So for example, there are roles that will pay you if you are a mental health officer. You can get more money in terms of interim work. So at the time of doing this video, there's about 16,500 social work posts in the UK, and as I said, there's about 6,000 vacancies. Most of the vacancies in the UK seem to be based in the summer of 2022, this is now August, in the south of England. And when I say the south, Dorset, Cornwall, obviously London, and they're usually paying for a basic grade social worker £36 to £45 an hour. Now, in some child protections, I saw one for Sanctuary Childcare, and it was a child protection job, and it was offering £70 an hour and £150 accommodation. So what I would say to you is shop about on community care, check out your agencies, and shop about in agencies as well, because some may be on contracts with local authorities, some may not be. Meanwhile, Manchester roles are increasing and the pay there is increasing as well, and the mean around about there is about £40 an hour. And in Glasgow they're looking for 75 social workers at the moment, as in summer of 2022. So what I would suggest to you is you get online and check out Glasgow City Council's website and see if you can get even an interim role there, or even a full-time role in Glasgow City Council. Now, heads of service roles. And these have changed dramatically because of the management changes and because of Ofsted and a lot of local authorities being rated inadequate. Heads of service jobs have been getting chopped a bit, and the interim roles have been getting chopped a bit or messed about a bit, particularly those around corporate parenting. So what's happened is a lot of heads of service were previously on £700 a day, £650 a day. A lot of their roles have went down to sometimes in the region of £500 a day in order to give way for newly qualified social work pay, and also interim social workers, agency social workers, and increase their pay so that we've got more people on the front line. So heads of service in some respects are getting paid the same as a social work basic grade social worker in terms of interim roles. If you're looking for roles that sit outside IR35, which is a tax thing, go and look it up online. It'll tell you lots of stuff about IR35. IR35 does have a huge impact on your wages as an interim, so check it out. Most local authorities, most independent fostering agencies and commercial companies are now saying you sit within IR35, so that there are no ghost employees, as they call them. So make sure you know the ramifications and how much you can get quotes from umbrella companies, and check out carefully what umbrella companies you use, because some of them take off sick pay and things like that, so it does have a big impact on your wages. So why the big disparity in wages across the UK, and why are we using more and more interims? Well, first of all, it's because inflation. Let's face it, inflation's went up to 9.4%. The rise of inflation is impacting public service workers because we've had no wage rises, so permanent staff wages have remained static. There's been no budget increases in the LAs, and that's reflected in IFAs as well, because those IFAs can't make any money from those local authorities who are not taking up those IFA placements. IFAs remain heavily leveraged in terms of debt and aren't passing on those monies onto their staff wages. Mortgage costs, well, they've risen, we all know that, and even for new social workers trying to get on the mortgage ladder, mortgage rates are about 3.5% as of August 2022. Fuel costs, let's face it, we all know about fuel costs. Recently, fuel costs went up to £2 a litre, which is killing everyone, and mileage hasn't reflected that. And also the mobility of newly qualified social workers. Newly qualified social workers now are able to work anywhere, and that's reflected. So the people might train in the east of England and are now moving to London a lot, they're moving to Manchester. So although some local authorities win, others don't. And there has been poaching of social workers between local authorities and between businesses. It is going on, and there is now memorandums of understanding going out across local authorities to try and stop poaching by local authorities, and each local authority outdoing each other with £60 an hour, £70 an hour. Where would it stop? So there you have it. That's a quick resume of what's going on in terms of the madness about interim social work and permanent job prices in the UK. I hope it helped. Just a quick video. If it did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, please do, and ring that little bell for notifications. Ding-a-ling-a-ling.